It's easy. Sign up at tidal.com/on-air for your 3-month complimentary membership.
Yeah, man, you'll get access to over 48 million songs, tons of videos, exclusive concert live streams, and so much more, man.
Yep.
What's the address again, B-Dot?
Tidal.com/on-air.
Yeah. Yeah, Rap Radar Podcast, Elliot Wilson.
B-Dot.
B-Dot, what's up, baby?
Man, I'm feeling like cut off khakis, French braids, and house shoes and shit.
We only go to California to talk to special individuals, man. You know, we touched that Malibu with Hova.
Yep.
And we right in the pit, man, with Nip Hustle. What's up, Nipsey?
Yeah, we on Crenshaw and Slauson at the Marathon store. Rap Radar Podcast. I must have done something right, man.
So we got to bring our business to your business.
Yeah,
Word
definitely.
Up. The business is booming.
This is booming, man. Yo, you moving, even while we was trying to set up for the interview, man, people come here, they actually be copping the goods,
either,
man.
You know what I'm saying? I wasn't playing. I was just, we was talking about tourism a little earlier. You know what I mean? A lot of like artists and everybody know that coming here is supporting hustle also. So, you know what I mean? That happened just naturally around the clock. We just happened to be here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
For this one.
It's almost like fellow artists feel like they got to, when they come to LA, they pay their respects almost to see what this is about and support you.
To a degree, and then also want to come check it out and probably just curious because they seen the grand opening or heard that we have a store over here. And then probably a combination of everything, trying to support, curiosity, and then also being from out of town, you want to come to LA, the other LA aside from like Hollywood and you know what I mean?
Because we were telling where we at, baby.
We ground zero. We on Crenshaw and Slauson at the Marathon store in the Crenshaw district, you know.
That Fat Burger's looking nice next door.
Yeah, definitely.
That's
definitely.
you too?
Yeah, we involved in that, yeah.
You say you're trying to buy the whole block, literally, right?
Yeah, eventually. That'll be the goal, you know.
Well, we're gonna get to the music return. I mean, that's why we're here. We're excited. But like, what is this? Why is this store so important to you? I mean, a lot of business moves. Like, what's so important about this foundation, this store?
Well, this is where really the Nip Hustle story, as far as doing music, started. Just as far as me like selling my mixtapes out the trunk in that parking lot, and even before the music, just hustling out the parking lot. My transition to selling my music. You know what I mean? To my clientele, and you know, becoming known as an artist, just a young up and coming street artist, and then all of the levels that we.
I got all my niggas in the field play ball.
Is you niggas mad or all?
Bitch, nigga grab a chair, real niggas stand tall.
Is you niggas mad or all?
We the ones cracking, and you niggas out here trying to make it happen.
My name is Leo Victor Smith, and they call me Pretty Boy from the 60s. I grew up in LA. I was born in New Orleans, but I grew up in LA, and I used to stay on the east side. A lot of people didn't know that. I used to stay on 76 and Wadsworth, second house from the corner next door to Raymond, Washington. And then I ended up coming to the 60s, which was over there on the west side, and I lived on 67 and Western all my life, around the corner from Horseman Junior High.
What years were you on the east side?
Well, that was in the early 70s. And that's where I met Raymond, tell you the truth, Raymond Washington. His mom's Viola, his brother Gerard, you know. And it's funny that one of the homies, Ron, he was like 5 years old when I seen him. And we used to play with him at the edge of the porch. Didn't realize he was gonna be my cellie 20-something years later. But I met Raymond, he was coming out the house, and I just moved over there. And he walked up to me, and he said, who are you? I said, I just moved next door. He said, I'm Raymond Washington, leader of the Crips. I said, okay. You know, I already knew who he was, right? But I didn't know I lived next door to him. So every day, he used to always see me, pull me by my shirt collar, by my shirt tails, and say, what you doing, little nigga? And, you know, we had kind of got a good rapport. And he got me out of an incident one time. I was actually shooting at a CO2 rifle, shot out some neighbors' windows. They wanted to come beat my ass. So Raymond walked out of there, right, and said, hey, you got a problem with him? And they backed down. And I'm kind of glad because, hell, they was like 5, 6 years older than I was. Hell, I was only about, probably 120 pounds dripping wet. So that's how I got my rapport with Raymond. Then I ended up moving to the west side on 67 and Western, going to 74th Street School. And that's where I met all the old homies now, that a lot of us did go to 74th Street School. A lot of them went to 59th. Then a lot of us went to Horseman Junior High. And like, it was a trip because all the 8 trades in the 60s that went to Horseman, we was all friends, but nobody didn't know what the future held between all of us. Nobody didn't know that we were gonna be the most tightest gangs in LA and the most strongest gangs in LA, being the most violent later on gangs in LA towards each other, you know? And it's really sad that's how it happened, but it is what it is, you know? You can't predict the future.
Did Raymond Washington have any influence on your cripping?
Yes, he did. Raymond Washington did have a lot of influence on my cripping because I'm gonna tell you something what I liked about him. He wasn't no punk. He wasn't on major swole, but he had a nice build on him. But he'd get down with anybody, anywhere. That's what I liked about him. And that's what I admired about the guy because, I mean, he had this attitude. He didn't even have to say nothing. All you had to do is just look at his face and you knew he meant business. And it hurt you too. But the last time I actually seen him, before he was killed, 1979 June. We had a funk festival in what's the sports arena? Coliseum. It was a funk festival. All the major funk groups showed up. And that was the last time all the major Crips, before everybody started warring with each other, that's the last time we was all together as one, right there. By then, Tookie had already caught his case. So everybody else was there. That was the last time we all seen each other. And that was about the last time I seen Raymond. Then August 79, he ended up getting killed. And I seen everything getting ready to go bad. After my homeboy Tyrone, Big Rick's brother, got killed, I didn't know that it was gonna go from bad to worse to extremely worse. But I remember it like it was yesterday. And we thought that it was gonna end with just give us the guy that actually shot him and it was gonna be over with. We didn't know it was gonna turn out like it did. And a lot of guys ended up going to prison, getting killed behind that. A lot of homies that got killed back then, a lot of young homies now don't even know who they are because it was so long ago. Back then, a lot of us was using fists. A gun barely came out. It rarely that you had to use a gun because everybody was fist fighting. But when everything went wrong with us and the 8 Trays and the war got out of hand, it was like an arms race. Everybody had to get something that shot more than 6 times. So after the arms got secured, the hardest part of that war, and nobody never really talked about this, the hardest part of that war was trying to shoot at a person, right, that you grew up with.
Who were some of your first childhood friends on the west side?
Well, my first childhood friends on the west side going to school was Shyster, Mumpy, Joe-I, Moncrief, Huey, Babyface, Joe Rat, you know, Lunatic Frank, Pie Face.
Was it any older guys that stood out that you might have looked up to?
Now the older guys that was already over there, you had Michael Conception over that way, you had Cutes, his brother Rusty Mouse. Then me and Cutes ended up hanging out later on, right? Until he ended up falling to his case. And then you had, then by then Tookie had moved over there. He had moved over, he was staying around in the area of 79th around Dinker. And
69?
Yes, I mean not 79, 69 for Dinker, around there. And so like I said, you had who else? My boy Scody, Big Scody, rest in peace. And a lot of people don't really bring up Scody's name because he was killed a long time ago. But he was another one I looked up to. That was my boy. He stayed around the corner from me. And so you had, like I said, you had a lot of guys over there, right? That made me, I guess, it was like an influence, because later on in life, I fed off that influence. And just like all gang members, right, you want to be number one. And I strive to be number one, no matter what it was.
When did you start running with the gang members on the west side?
Well, in Horace Mann, that's when I started really being active. You know, that's when I started really being active in the Horace Mann. I went to Horace Mann started in 72, 73. But that's when I started being active back then. But like I said, everything was reduced to just graffiti.